executions continue to be practiced even in the 21st century. Amnesty International released its annual report on the death penalty today. It's revealed an alarming surge in recorded executions in 2015, the highest in 25 years. Southern Africa Deputy Director for Amnesty International, Muleya Mwana-nyanda, joins us to discuss this in studio. Good evening to you, Muleya. Lovely to have you with us, but certainly over a worrying story. How many people are we talking about being executed last year?
So we're talking about 1,634 people executed last year, representing 50+% more than were executed in the year before. So we saw that last year was a particularly interesting year in terms of executions, but also our death penalty trends show a starkly divergent trend in that on one hand you have those executions that took place last year, but on the other extreme you also have 4 new countries abolishing the death penalty. That's the highest number of countries abolishing the death penalty in a single year.
So that's very ironic in the one sense. So we've got more countries abolishing it, but on the other hand we have more executions at the same time.
Yes.
Who are the main players in this, or those largely to be blamed for these executions?
Absolutely. So the countries to be blamed for the large number of executions are Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Pakistan. They accounted for about 90% of the executions that happened last year. So 90% went to those 3. In terms of the ones that have abolished, it's Fiji, Madagascar, Suriname, and the Republic of Congo. So we find that, again, like I was saying, it's been a schizophrenic year in terms of the death penalty, because you find that those 4 have abolished the death penalty, but on the other hand, countries like Pakistan had 326 executions in 1 year. That's a huge number. At the same time, there are more countries now that have abolished the death penalty. So you have 102 countries that have completely abolished the death penalty, both in law and in practice.
So let's look at the countries that have carried out these executions. What were their main reasons?
Well, there are very varied reasons. Some of them are for drug-related offences. Some of them are for who slept with whom at what point. Some of them have been, some people have been executed who are mentally ill. And we are saying as Amnesty International that this is absolutely cruel and degrading punishment. We do not support the death penalty under any circumstance, whether it's a drug-related offence or it's a heinous crime, because it should not happen. The death penalty has really been discredited as a method of deterrent for crimes.
What if they put forward the argument that their Islamic law allows for executions, so it's a religious issue that you can't dictate to them on?
Well, I think we believe in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and a number of countries have signed up to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. And under those 2 broad international legal frameworks, this is a human right. The right to life is a universal right. It can't be taken away because you're Christian or because you're Muslim or because you're Jewish. So we still do not agree with it.
However, they do not subscribe to the same notion of universal rights. Their notion of morality or ethics, if you like, is driven by religion. Mm-hmm. How do you, as a neutral secular organization, deal with that kind of argument?
Our strategy has really been to campaign. So if you remember, if your viewers can recall, I mean, we've been campaigning against the death penalty since 1977. And at the time we started, there were 16 countries that were abolitionist. We are now talking about 140 countries which are abolitionist in both, in either law or in practice. 102 who are completely abolitionist out of the 140. So it shows that if we continue speaking about it year in, year out, that those retaining the death penalty somehow get to listen and things change.
Very, very interesting indeed. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us this evening. We appreciate your time. Southern Africa Deputy Director for Amnesty International, Muleya Mwana-nyanda.